You know, if you think about David, way before King David, way before he was king, when he was just a boy, you know, and Goliath was out there and making fun of all of them. And all these army, you know, this army, they were scared of him. The king was scared of him. David's brothers were scared of him. They were all scared. And here's David, this little young shepherd boy. He wasn't scared. You know why? Because he trusted in God. He said, you know, he was like, well, you know, what's wrong? Why are y'all scared of him? They tried to give him this armor and sword and shield and all these things, and they just weighed him down because he was a little feller. He says, no, I'm not going to wear this. It ain't been proven. So he gets his sling and those 5 smooth stones. He goes out there, but his faith wasn't even in those stones. His faith wasn't in that sling. His faith was in God. Now, if we look here in 2 Chronicles chapter 20, what we're looking at, yes, we see that they didn't have to do anything. That's what I said from the beginning. Our battles are different, but no doubt God wants to be there to help with us. They didn't even have to do nothing, but God told them to show up and be there and watch. Now, David, in this situation, sure, he had to go on out there. But regardless of whether we have to do anything like David had to do and take that stone and throw it and hit Goliath and kill him, or whether we just stand there and watch what God does, regardless of how God works it out, God is with us, but he wants us to trust in him. And more than that, he wants us to show up. And we must show up. We want God to show up in our lives. Let's show up and tell people about him. Let us go out and tell this world about Jesus Christ. Let us go out and tell this world, like I said back during prayer request earlier, let us go out and tell this world that Jesus Christ loves them. No matter where they've been, what they've done, no matter what they're facing, Jesus Christ loves them and wants to save them. We see right here these people with this battle. And God said, hey, he sent the prophet to say, I got this, but I want you there. I want you to watch. I want you to see what God's doing. We look at, like I said, we look back at David when he was just that boy. He trusted in God, not his sling, not the stones. His faith was in the God he served. He defeated, as a little young shepherd boy, he defeated the giant Goliath, the great warrior. But if you think about it, look at years later, you know, we talked about this 2 or 3, 4 weeks ago. I don't remember when it was, but how David, once he become king, well, he did lose a battle then, didn't he? He lost that battle to Bathsheba. He lost that battle to his own lust. Remember when we talked about that a few weeks ago, where he looked out and he saw Bathsheba bathing? And then he got his people to bring her in, and then, you know, then she gets pregnant. And then, you know, he tries to make her husband, who was his soldier, think that it was his. He wouldn't do it because he was so dedicated. You know, we talked about this a little while back. And he was so dedicated. That soldier was so dedicated. Uriah was so dedicated, he wouldn't even go back to his house to be with his wife. And then so David tells him, hey, you know, put him in the hottest battle, pull back, and make sure he's killed. And then David takes Bathsheba for his wife. But when you think about these things, here's David trusting in God as a boy, trusting in God in that battle against this great giant. And look what, God shows up, and God, through David's faith in God, defeats Goliath. But boy, then he faces that battle against the flesh, don't he? That battle against the flesh, what he lusted after. And he lost that battle. And you know, of course, they have a baby, and the baby winds up passing away, but because of the sin. But man, ain't it amazing how we can trust in God for something that overcomes something we never thought we would, but then something simple like that, he could have just turned and walked away, turned and went back in his room. But no, he followed after his lust when it came to Bathsheba. Followed after his lust, and he lost that battle. He lost that battle. I'm telling you, it's something we face every day, a battle between the flesh and the spirit every single day. Now, it's different temptations daily. Sure it is. It's different temptations. But make no mistake, it's always a battle between the flesh and the spirit. If you're a Christian, if If you've ever been saved, that's a battle we face every day between the flesh and the spirit. I look